What is up, everyone? It is I, Psycho Blue, conductor of the Hype Train, Mr. Hype Gems, hashtag Crosswires. It is time for part 2 of our King Returns 11 extravaganza here on Twitch at Psycho Blue 9, or if you're watching this on YouTube, Psycho Blue SFXT. As I said yesterday, we will have more cross-Tekken action tomorrow at 7 p.m. We will be reviewing the Frosty Faustings pools, as well as going over the top 4 stream, which was provided by Matchstick Melee. I am proud to say that as of this moment, Cross Tekken is now the highest viewed VOD of all of these side tournaments for Frosty Faustings. Thank you, everyone's provided all of that support. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. I actually like this game a lot, and I'm always happy to stream it. And I'm happy to turn it over to my two casters. First, a returning face, Pineapples.
How's it going?
And we have new blood here. How are you doing today, Rylan? Introduce yourself to the crowd.
I'm doing just fine. How's everyone else doing?
Doing wonderful. Where are you from, Ryland?
I am from Georgia.
All right, so the former site of Final Round, the future site of Max Mode.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a history right there for fighting games. This is, by the way, the Richmond, Virginia monthly events, and we recently moved to Dawnstar Video Games. That is a retro game shop and two-story arcade located in Scott's Addition near the baseball diamond.
Sounds like a fun time.
It's a very fun time indeed so far. We'll see how many more King Returns events we can do there. But for now, let's focus on what took place last Saturday at the King Returns 11. Without further ado, I will turn it over to you guys, and we will jump right into the Granblue action.
All right.
Right.
So, all right, starting things off, let's go ahead and speak over each other constantly. We are going to see Candice, Catnipp versus Arkido, Grimnir, and Zooey, it looks like.
Candice, someone that we saw in the uni bracket as well yesterday, I believe won that one, if I remember correctly. Arkido was also here last time we ran Granblue. Very nice to see a returning face. Like you mentioned, Grimnir and Zooey, the first matchup. Not a matchup that I get to see a whole lot of.
Yeah, both of these characters are probably on the lower end of player base, just because, I don't know, they're kind of weird, honestly.
Yeah, they kind of tackle things in a bit of an unconventional way, right? Grimnir takes some time to get going. You have to set up the seals, like Candice got there. Zooey is focused on that meter management, the dragon meter. But once they kind of start their engines, once they're revving up, they can get some explosive gameplay going.
Yep, they're both very similar in that their pressure is astoundingly scary. They can both set up situations that very few other characters in the game can. Grimnir's got that massive air mobility once he has those sizzles out, and Zoe's got the ability to set up low overhead mix-ups she can combo out of, which a rarity in this game.
Yeah, for a game that's generally focused on strike throw, two of the premier 50-50 generating characters in one match is a bit of a rare sight.
Yeah, Arkido starting things off with the plus frames, immediately getting Candice to the corner. Gonna burn a diamond already, start to get some pressure down.
Yeah, I like that from Candice, just immediately. First pressure sequence, I don't really feel like holding that. Sure, burn the every point, get on out of there.
Especially against Zooey in the corner. Like, you do not want to be there.
No, not at all. Unfortunately for Candice Catnipp, though, they managed to get themselves all the way across, coast to coast, into the right corner, and gonna hold this pressure.
Absolutely not. And we saw a little bit of a scramble there. Arkido came out on top briefly, but Candice getting a huge confirm, using the last of their diamonds. Gonna have to make sure they don't get hit, and well.
Oh my goodness! Throw bait? Who? Arkido just busting out the SBA on Zooey, just entirely vertical. A great call out for that. That's a grip of damage when you have no DP.
Yep, Candice once again refusing to hold the pressure. Arkido coming into the plus frame and then setting up the tornado to finish it off.
One kind of common strategy for dealing with that tornado that I believe Arkido was going for there to just try and jab it out. Because a lot of people like to set up the tornado and then go for like 6-6 overhead or something. A lot of people like to slide in a sweep in there, catch a Grimnir while he's running up. So hits still enough with Tornado, but you don't have enough health to survive that hit. It'd be a bit of a rough call. Candice Catnipp making short work of this round as Arkido far is great.
Yeah, speaking of sliding in, Candice baited several options and nearly baited a third. Arkido almost in chip range here, gonna get... Oh, and that's game 1 on the board.
Very nice, very solid play, as we would expect from somebody who won other brackets.
Yep, and that was a great showcase of exactly how scary Grimnir can be once he gets set up. Ooh, great use of the dragon to interrupt, keep Grimnir away from those sigils. That is probably one of his biggest weaknesses. He has to set up, but he also has to be in the right place after setup.
Yeah, when he's not close to those sigils, you get that 5U, and it kind of takes a while to get
Yep, ultimate DP, get off me, and here we are back at the sigils. Gets caught out of the air with a laser though. Arkido doing an okay job of dealing with all this pressure.
And just Catnipp stole the turn back. Arkido got the right idea. It's a little bit too slow on it. All those air dashes from Grimnir are minus. He's pressed. Too slow on the draw, but this time Arkido finds the SBA once again.
Yep, Candice once again out of diamonds, almost out of meters, has enough for one more ultimate skill if they choose to use it, but it's just going to get hit by the overhead.
That overhead stopped Candice for so much damage. That extra 50% from having no bravery points is critical.
Yeah, it is the biggest risk you run if you're using that guard cancel so liberally. You run out of bravery points, and you stop being able to use the guard cancel, and you take so much more damage.
Strong, very, very strong defensive mechanic. Tied to a very high risk if you're not in a position to regenerate some of those DPs by using way of a super.
Yeah, Candice tries to spot dodge the plus frames, but that does not work against the HDP. Again, guard cancel. They kind of whiff at each other. Candice not in the greatest position here. Arkido seems to be doing their best to set up and take control. Armors through and is gonna finish off game 2.
Yeah, that 6-6-H from Zooey is such a powerful bullying tool. When you predict that your opponent is liking to throw out something in the mid-range, toss a preemptive 6-6-H in there. Sometimes it'll get blocked and punishable, but a lot of the time you armor something, get a full conversion. It can be so valuable.
Yep, such a good high risk, high reward tool.
Lightning to get Candice turned. Arkido out of the corner, and there we go. Blocked, but not punished.
Yeah, Candice has not really been punishing these 6-6-Hs very well. I'm not 100% certain, but Grimnir may just not have a good 8-frame button with which to attack.
Yes, they're a bit short, right? The first hit of his far H is 8 frames, but can be a bit stubby. Not quite able to catch a spaced 6-6-H, which when that can be a problem. Candice Catnipp, though, not worrying about that and just cleaning up the round after that interaction.
Yeah, don't need to have a fast button to punish a block DP.
Absolutely.
Alright, 6-6Ls on one. Isn't it going to convert off of it? More plus frames. Gets caught by the 5U.
Yeah, doing a good job checking Candice Catnipp, trying to take advantage of that dragon meter charge. Like, oh, I'm trying to press? No, I gotta reverse.
I like that answer from Candice, dodging through the 6-6-H instead of blocking it.
Yeah, if they're not gonna punish him, then might as well dodge it to get a better situation, and that's an interaction you'll see every day.
Today I learned that Zooey's 6-6-H only has 2 hits of armor.
Immediately losing to that DP, but Candice Catnipp again getting hit by Arkido's raw skybound art. It's not quite enough to kill.
Yeah,
What's Candice Catnipp within a throw's breath of death?
Yeah, Arkido 3 for 3 on those reversal supers, but Candice Catnipp also has a pretty great record on those ultimate skills and is able to convert it into a mix-up and into the game.
Yeah. Speaking of high risk, high reward options, that U Spiral Arrow from Grimnir is one of the premier of those in this game. Incredibly fast, covers almost if not the entire screen, leads to a full combo on hit, is just a phenomenal tool for Grimnir. Of course it's punishable on block, but the reward that we saw Candice Catnipp get there is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, just because a tool's punishable on block doesn't mean you shouldn't use it.
100%. 100%. Candice, Catnipp moving on 2-1 in our bracket. Looking forward to seeing who we got next. I know in the previous King Returns, we had Zerom out in the bracket, took that one pretty well with their very powerful Charlotta.
Mm-hmm.
They're recently coming off of a second place at Frosty Faustings. Congratulations to them as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, and here's our next set. Looks like we're seeing Siegfried versus Katalina, MisterDingle and Primitive.
Alrighty. Siegfried, generally considered very strong character, puts out an absurd amount of damage. Even amplified with that power up passive that he can have. Katalina on the other side, not quite held in as high regard, but still has amazing normals to contest with.
Yeah, honestly, if anything, I almost feel like Siegfried is the same type of character as Katalina, just stronger. They both got fantastic normals. They both got ways of locking the opponent down. Great tools in neutral.
So I just want to add, for any set that has Primitive from this point onward, there will be no sound because he plugged in his headphones when he played, and that messed with the streaming a bit.
Fair enough.
He stole the sound. No.
Look, sometimes you got to hear things really clearly when you're in bracket art.
That's true. That's true. Quick button check. All right, make sure Brave counter works. Make sure the Raging Strike works. There we are.
Yeah, it is the worst feeling to get into a set and realize, oh, this doesn't work right.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I bring my set up to my local, I go home, I try to play Granblue, and my buttons are messed up just ever so slightly, so I don't notice until I'm 3 games in.
Oh yeah.
And then I lose because what's missing is my block button.
I'll do that as well. I'll bring this up to locals. I have a couple people that have really janky button wirings, so their layouts are all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just like come back to my house, hop in ranked, and be like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of dominating neutral, Primitive has immediately gone in on MisterDingle, getting them to the corner, landing a hit.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard to contest that projectile.
Yeah, the fireball, both the EX and M versions take up so much real estate on the screen and just sit there for so long. Mr. Dingle finding a very opportune roll out of the corner, though, full cash out into the SBA, get that diamond back, and take about 40% off Primitive's bar.
Yeah, that roll and punish was a really heads up play. Gonna spend, actually, I think that's the last of MisterDingle's diamonds even. But doesn't really matter when you just win the game off the next interaction.
No, Primitive not wanting to block, just holding that that frame trap from Mr. Dingle. Very nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Navigating that initial pressure sequence and then turning that round on its head.
Yep, and that is MisterDingle armoring through one of Primitive's hits. That is one of, I don't know if it's one of Catalina's strongest tools, but it's certainly one of her most unique tools is that shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 5U putting up one hit of armor, allowing for a strike, allowing for like a backdash cancel as well, can be very tricky to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Primitive getting the classic minus frames into DP, forcing MisterDingle into the corner.
Mr. Dingle doing a very good job of just being patient, sitting just outside of Siegfried's range of normals, and once he's in there, being very defensive and not willing to mash on any of these frame traps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. That time, Primitive was ready for MisterDingle's roll response, doesn't even go into stance, just immediately exits out of it, gets a punish because of it.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Dingle had to burn 2 diamonds to guard cancel back that guard crush, though, so this is looking dire for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, one more DP will do it. Primitive taking away that round.
Yeah. Extra 20% damage on that DP never hurt. Could have been the reason that was able to seal out the round. Primitive fighting back, didn't really have many times where they had to be on the defensive. Was really in control of that round.
Mm-hmm. Yep, dodges the projectile, but at that range, Siegfried can just 6-6 punish. Like I said, it's such a hard move to contest, but MisterDingle landing a great combo, juggling them into the corner, gonna finish off with the super.
Oh, so good. Primitive has seemed very antsy on defense this set. In the first round, we saw it once MisterDingle got the offensive, Primitive kind of crumbled a little bit. Last round, that didn't really happen because Primitive was running an offense most of the time. This time we're seeing it again. Primitive's health bar very low, but a huge counter hit close H could spell doom for MisterDingle.
Yeah. Don't think they're gonna lose all their diamonds, so this likely isn't gonna kill. But that's gonna leave them on pretty low health. Tries to bait out possibly a throw, but gets hit by the DP, and one more DP will finish it.
EX reversal, you got no health, you might as well go for it. Primitive. Oh, clutching that one out at the end.
Yeah, high risk, high reward. It's really only high risk if the risk isn't the same as every other option. Alright, blocks out the 5U, gets hit with a projectile. And the raw slashes Primitive hasn't been the best at picking those up when they get into the corner, but it's worked out so far, so whatever floats your boat.
Yep, and the
Right.
unblockable. Yeah, at that point it's checkmate, right? You either get hit by the unblockable and die just like that. If you spot dodge it, Siegfried gets a guaranteed throw punish as well, so I think that was a checkmate scenario for MisterDingle.
I'm pretty sure you can beat it with an invincible reversal, but I don't even know if a DP would work. Just because of the super armor.
I know supers work, I'm not sure beyond that.
Yeah, then a DP should work because supers are not any different than normal hits when it comes to armor. I have discovered that to my chagrin against Vasaraga many a time.
That Soulforge do be hidden. Just like this SBA from Primitive. Such a great call-out tool against fireballs in the neutral game. You see it a lot from Siegfried players that can just react to anything in neutral. They're like, oh, you throwing out a fireball? Nope. No, you're not.
Yep, and Primitive once again ready for MisterDingle's roll out of the corner response, finishing things off 2-0.
Very quickly in the second game from Primitive. The first one, very back and forth. We saw it end on a knife's edge, reversal on reversal to finish out that first game. Second one, Primitive was in his bag.
Yeah, second game, Primitive had MisterDingle's habits on lock. Was able to take care of it real quick. And looks like we got Candice Catnipp back on screen, this time against Minute playing the Belial.
I always love watching Belial. This character is so sick.
This character is like almost unchanged from the previous version, honestly. He didn't need to be changed.
No, he has such strong tools in his arsenal. He's just basically a super-powered Shoto, right?
Yeah, the way I usually describe him, he's a Shoto, but everything's a little weird.
It's a little weird, but also a little great, right? He has such good conversion ability from midstream with the Gillian follow-ups. The follow-ups give him pressure. All of his buttons just have absurd pressure. Such a strong guy.
Yeah, speaking of that fireball. Candice getting a sigil set up, it scores a hit, is able to get a pretty good conversion off of that too.
There we are. First interaction going Candice's way, and now they get to start the offense in the corner. This pressure is where Grimnir can be so stifling. Faded on the shimmy.
Gets the sigil set up, has the fuzzy safe jump. Fuzzy safe jump, one of the two. It's probably a safe jump.
Who needs to use it if they just get hit by the overhead? Candice Catnipp taking it.
Isn't quite able to convert off of that hit. And then it just goes for a run-up throw.
Dragging Candice Catnipp up to the corner, calling out that spot dodge as well. Very patient in their offense. Away, challenging when they need to.
Getting those plus frames, Candice once again refusing to hold the pressure, busts out the UDP. What an anti-air.
That's such a risky option against Grimnir that he has these air seals. Sometimes Grimnir will just opt to dash away from you. You whiff a 2H, oh no, you might get Spiral Arrow punished. Thankfully, for Minute, that time it worked out. Very risky cut.
5L into a Brave... I want to say Brave counter, but you know what I mean. And Candice Catnipp gets the mix-up, gets the game. On to round 2.
with air dash down, catching Minute. They thought by spot dodging the air dash, they'd be able to put the turn back. Candice kind of.
Candice winning the Fireball War, getting a bit of a hit. Lands the 5-8. Gonna convert into a full combo.
Belial's normals having such good advantage and such generous hitboxes make this corner pressure very nice. And Catnipp are able to bust out, find their way back to their seals though.
But nobody's got any diamonds here. Every hit hurts so much.
Get all this damage!
Yeah, Minute whiffing that last Raging Strike mattered so much.
When you're taking 50% more damage, especially after wasting a DP on essentially nothing, you're nicking yourself.
Alright, lands throw. Both of these players could win in the next hit.
Anyone game at
Chip
this
range for
point.
Minute, lands a hit but can't convert at that range, and one more DP will do it.
At that point, running offense is so risky because you are in chip range of a reversal. You're in death range if you get hit. Your only option is to spot dodge, but it can be called out as well, so things get so dicey.
And hitting the 6-6 off conversions, pushing it all the way to the corner. Blocks the Raging Strike, passes find a diamond to get out.
Plus frames.
Continuing with the plus frames.
It's always Belial's turn.
Oh! Tried to go for a tip throw, but I think the hit messed it up.
Might have been too much hit stuff. That's the first time I've ever seen EX grab a lift like that.
Yeah, Candice getting that install going. Minutes. Not really caring. Just hitting with a low, getting the projectile, finishing the round.
The install giving Candice Catnipp Grimnir the ability to use the air dash whenever. And it allows Grimnir to kind of get the gameplay started without having to set these seals down. As well as if he gets a hit, the conversions off those can be just
Anti-air from Candice, getting pressure going again. They're back in sigil range. Really solid conversion straight to the corner.
So that's the wheel and Richmond going low.
Gets hit by the second overhead straight into Skybound Dart. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to kill, but it's a close thing.
Not going to be enough, but they are able to set the tornado down if they want to. Empty jump throw doesn't quite hit. Minute able to fight their way out of the corner. SSBA in return.
Ooh, that wasn't the clean hit, so we're not looking at as much damage as we would have liked.
Very rough SSBAs. You miss out on so much.
Landed a hit, but once again, just not quite able to convert. Baits out the Brave counter and finishes things off.
Candice Catnipp still looking so clean. Saw it in the first game, saw it repeated over here. Looking so good. Now we got Minute, I believe, staying on the sticks. Swearing up against nobody.
And we got an Avatar Belial up next.
Avatar's such a fun character. I love watching this character.
Avatar is extremely goofy.
He stresses me out way too much to play him, but he's so much fun.
I haven't touched the character, but there's somebody at my local who plays him, and this character's wacky.
Yeah.
That's really the best way to sum it up.
The absolute pinnacle of the glass cannon. Maybe a paper mache cannon might be more accurate. Has the lowest health in the game, uses his own health to...
In that case, get plus frames. That 8U follow-up is plus on block. Landing a 5-8 counter hit, gonna go into a throw.
For a minute, forcing nobody back.
Now Minute has to be very careful about how they pressure nobody. Oh, yep, that is a guaranteed hit. You can't jump against that stance.
By the way, if you block the laser in the air, they can just follow up into that hack and then go blockable. Dropping the combo.
Gets the throw. Nobody going for the run-up command throw, and that'll do it.
That's the Avatar Classic.
That is the Avatar Classic.
Once you got that SSBA locked and loaded, you cannot jump it after the Super Flash. So he might just run up and sneak you sometimes. It happens to the best.
The 2H stun block is able to DP through the follow-up.
Out of there, crouching mid-screen though, so the combo won't be that devastating. Resetting the throw from nobody.
Ooh, the stance follow-up whiffs, and Minut's able to get a full conversion off of that. This should kill.
To the H as Vodius follow up with the close medium. Easy conversion. It's still had a couple BP to cash out.
Yeah, could have gone into super, just opted not to. Probably wanted to maximize things as much as possible. Alright, throw back into the corner.
Some LDP just in neutral from nobody. What?
Hey, why not? Nope. Tries to get a little frisky with that run-up DP and is gonna get punished heavily for it.
It is so bold, especially when you're playing a character with as little life to give as nobody.
Honestly, I feel like that's peak Avatar Belial. That is how you play this character. Alright,
Dawnstar Games like some good shit on there. Yeah, gets a full combo off this. Go into this.
You're dead. You are most certainly dead.
What close? Not quite.
Ah. If nobody had gotten a little bit more of their health out and have been able to get into SSBA range, that would have killed. But finishes things off with the laser. That is another thing that is so hard to deal with once you're in chip range.
Yeah. Avatar Belial, you know, for all of his riskiness, has very, very strong controls that don't require that much. The laser being one of them, the M Fireball that we've seen before where he sprints out a bunch of beams everywhere.
Yeah, given how much he has to pay for his best tools, they need to be good. And baits out the throw, gets a command throw.
Able to combo off of it this time. Minute thanking their lucky stars as they DDP for the second time. Get more plus frames, but nobody is not deterred.
Minute just got hit by the safe down. Nobody was not ready to convert. Baits out the Brave counter. Yeah, I think you're dead.
There it is.
I don't think they got the grab, but at that point it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think they punished a 2M attempt for a minute. As soon as I saw the health bar tick over to SSB range from nobody, I was like, when are we getting it? It's coming sometime.
You're playing Avatar Belial and you're not hitting SSBA? What are you doing?
Honestly.
Alright, DP lands. Nobody. Gonna punish the throw with the throw. And once again,
These command grabs from nobody, putting in so much work. He's putting a minute on life support.
one more command
throw.
straight into super, and that'll close out the stats.
Oh my, minute being eliminated from the bracket by 2 command grabs in a row. The H flight into the command grab follow-up.
Yeah, well, now we know which version of Belial is better.
That's true, that's true. How could you, as a regular Belial, hope to stand up to your ascended form?
Yeah, dealing with stance pressure, it can be very scary against Avatar Belial. You have to be ready to respond with some way to anti-air, invincible reversal. If you're really sick with it, you can hit like a 2H or something, but you cannot just block it out and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Because, like we saw, he's got that command throw.
Yeah. Got a bunch of options from that, but we're going to be leaving that behind in the losers side of the bracket as we go to winners finals. Primitive on the Siegfried, Candice, Catnipp, switching off to the Nier this time.
Yeah, probably not confident. Well, I think this is just a button check, or Candice isn't confident that Grimnir can adequately contest Siegfried's tools, which honestly I think makes sense because Siegfried's H projectile reaches so high up that Grimnir's ability to move around in the air is just completely eliminated.
That is very true. do wonder if they're gonna stick with it after this button check. Is this? It is a button check. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I always get confused when they start comboing. I'm like, wait a minute, are we going into it?
I have to make sure my combo macro is working.
True.
Oh, no, okay. We are going back to the Grimnir.
Throw it. Everything I just said out the window. Forget the Nier. Sticking with the tried and true.
Yep, Candice believing in themselves instead of switching to the top tier. The power of believing in yourself is... It can't be underestimated.
I think Grimnir has been a very hotly debated character in terms of his tier placements. I either hear the opinion of this character is terrible or this character is insane.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't think there are any actual bad characters in this version of the game.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen just about every character represented at tournament level, and every character has things to work with. Candice Catnipp is working with these U seals, going for the fuzzy. No, guard canceled off immediately.
Ooh, baits out the guard cancel. Gonna get a pretty good combo off of this. Opts not to spend the super. Immediate challenge on Wake Up.
I like that. I like that immediate jab into Raging Strike. Not giving yourself any hesitation in the confirm. Candice Catnipp running back over to the seals they'd placed earlier, finding a quick throw bait and finding the first round.
Yeah, Primitive is going to have to be very careful on Wake Up against Candice. They've shown that they are more than willing to just bait out whatever.
It's one of Grimnir's very, very strong points. So when he's near these seals, he has such a free throw bait, just immediate jump air dash down. Put in so much work for him so far in this tournament.
All right, busts out with the DP. Primitive backing off a little bit. Catches with the projectile.
You sweep to get in there. Primitive again, not afraid of burning these BP, but finding a huge DP punish on Candice Catnipp. This is going to hurt them so much.
Yep, gets the setup into the unblockable. Opts not to go for the throw afterwards.
I think they just expected the unblockable to hit and were autopiloting into the combo confirm afterwards, which fair enough. You haven't seen anybody dodge it so far this tournament.
All right, Candice once again getting that install up. Primitive spending some meter to get the pressure back.
Anti-air. Fair enough. As Candice Catnipp's in install and can change her momentum. Dodges the Raging Strike air dash punish. Look at this combo. What is going on?
Hey, if you never start a juggle, the combo limit isn't going to matter.
Why that install combos can be so devastating from Grimnir, keeping you grounded the entire time. Telling me he gets to do that and then get a full air juggle at the end of it? Incredible.
That is indeed how that works. Oh, throw bait. We're baiting out the counter. Yeah, Primitive has perhaps been a little bit too active on Wake Up, dodging the command throw. Candice.
Oh my. That was such a call out. Primitive just on their Oki, going for run up air throw against Candice Catnipp, anticipating a jump out or something. Not working out for them.
All right. Doesn't get the punish. Yeah, now Primitive has established the mix-ups from stands. And we can see Candice falling for some of them, but that's not going to keep Candice from taking this round.
A quick jab check into Raging Strike like we've seen time and time before. Candice Catnipp very on top of those.
It's such a powerful tool.
Oh, 100%.
And it's nice that such a powerful tool is universal too. It's one of the reasons that, like I said earlier, that we don't have any truly weak characters in this game, because the system mechanics are very strong.
They truly are. They benefit a lot of characters equally. You're saying that jab into Raging Strike is great for checking people trying to reset their pressure. That JU from Grimnir, great at checking people trying to throw tech. And oh boy, we dodged the last Raging Strike, but we're not dodging this one.
Yeah, Primitive just opting to go for the meaty and try and take Candice's diamonds. It works out. One more. Ooh,
oh no.
Just goes for a throw. One more throw bait.
Candice Catnipp not biting the DP through. The SSBA from Candice Catnipp.
So
Very
if you're at that
nicely
low,
done.
if you're at that low of a health, why take the risk that you won't be able to punch?
Yeah, might as well go for it.
Yeah, so some of these supers are very tricky to punish. I think Grimnir's might be one of them. I don't fight that character enough.
There's always like the guess in this game if you don't know. Oh, am I supposed to block this super? Am I supposed to spot dodge this super? I'm not sure.
All right, goes for the overhead, tries to bait out the brave counter, but it works out in Primitive's favor.
Nicely done. Run up, throw, and tossing Candice Catnipp for an extra bit of damage, but they're not deterred. They're holding back on defense.
All right,
Another
no,
reaction, but still not working out.
Primitive just needs to DP these.
You DP it. You can also block it. Just block it and punish with 5L.
I wonder if Primitive is anticipating an ultimate projectile or something.
Could be. So that would be a very good response to an ultimate fireball. Found a good response to Candice Catnipp trying to mash out of that corner. The 2M check, tying us up 1-1.
Yeah, spot dodging that overhead strike can be very risky.
It usually leaves Siegfried at advantage unless it's like the medium version. If you try to challenge afterwards, things are not necessarily too great for you, as we just saw not at the end of that last round.
Yeah. Candice, once again, trying to jump out, gets caught by the follow-up. Primitive lands a throw.
But 2M got the catch, but didn't confirm. Wasn't confident enough that that would hit. Candice backing up to their seals in their comfort zone, waiting for Primitive to come to them.
And come to them, Primitive has. Once again. This is just going to keep happening for the rest of the set, isn't it?
Until such time as Candice Catnipp throws out an ultimate fireball, we might be seeing that interaction. And if I'm Candice Catnipp, I'm totally fine with it. Oh, I burned 50 meter? Cool, you burned 100.
All right, landing the projectile, gets the bait, goes for another one. Brave counter comes out. The whiff punish with the ultimate special gives Candice the round.
That used spiral arrow from Grimnir. We've seen it represented so often, and you can see why.
Yeah, in my head, on the character select screen, I was thinking, man, Grimnir is just an Undernight character, and that is such an Undernight tool to have.
Immediate half screen advancing. There we go. This time, Primitive finding the punish, not on a throw, but on a counter hit on Candice Catnipp's attempt to mash out.
And that's such a clean round, almost a perfect.
Yeah, very well done. As we've seen in previous games, once Primitive is able to start their pressure, it can be kind of suffocating for their opponent. Candice Catnipp not able to weather the storm on that one.
Yeah, Siegfried is such a scary character on offense.
So he stops you from wanting to choose an option because you're scared of the threat of, oh, if I get touched once, I might just explode.
All right, stance follow-up once again, catches Candice trying to jump out.
Yeah, speaking of exploding, this is what Candice Catnipp is going to be doing right about now. You get hit with a counter hit close H, you are taking a fat chunk of health out of that bar. Look at all that red.
Tries to go for a bait on a throw or a brave counter, but Candice just DPs on out.
P out. Candice Catnipp having a second chance. They're not quite in chip range yet, so they can play a little bit more liberally than if they were. Spending 50 meter and not having a refund, though, is rough on that spiral arrow.
Yeah, and Primitive, just playing this patient, understands how much of a life lead they have. And, well, okay. I know we're being patient, and we just DP through each other immediately.
You fireball to delete the tornado. I agree with that. Immediate EX stance from Primitive. The Orcane catching Candice Catnipp's attempt to walk forward, putting Primitive up 2-1 in the set.
Yeah, and it was a great choice from Primitive. Candice was in chip range after that U fireball. And at that point, it's just very hard to contest Siegfried because all of his stuff is so active.
Yeah. As well as, if you're in chip range, it's so hard to avoid those situations if you don't have a typical meterless reversal. Grimnir being one of the few characters that has to spend 50 meter if he wants any kind of invincibility. So things get so dangerous at that point.
Yeah, speaking of spending meter for invincibility, Candice once again just busting out.
Bust on out of there. You got it. You might as well spend it. Candice Catnipp doesn't want to be spending any more time under Primitive's thumb. Once they got these offensive sequences, they've been so tight. But they have crumbled on their own defense, and that's where Candice Catnipp wants them to be.
And Primitive, once again, getting Candice to the corner, has full meter, finally gets a punish with the super.
There we are. That's what we've been looking for this whole time. Primitive finding the call out with the super. Not enough to kill, but it's looking dangerous. The JUs are constant from Primitive. Sometimes they don't work, but sometimes they do.
Yeah, both of these players have been going so hard on the baits against brave counters and throws. And it's been working out more often than not.
It's been working out in a great way for Primitive there. They're putting themselves on match point. 1 round away from sitting pretty in winner's side of grand finals. That is such a nice place to be.
Yep. Sweep knockdown. Gonna get a low hit. Isn't really interested in converting.
Late tech keeps the advantage, but Primitive guard canceled away. Candice Catnipp says, "Get off of me. I need my space."
Yeah, Primitive's still sitting on a life lead, so doesn't really have too much of an issue with how things are slowing down here. Lands a hit in neutral.
We're not blocking. We're mashing
Of
on
course
like
not.
Candice Catnipp, immediately taking their turn back. Here we are again. We've seen this one before.
And they even with throws at each other. All right, catches with the overhead slash. Candice living on a prayer.
Bending that meter to get out of the corner, but they have quite a hill to climb, and they're not going to be able to do it as Primitive finds the check and finds the match, sending Candice Catnipp down to the loser's side of the bracket.
Yeah, Primitive seeing Candice trying to claw their way up the cliff, looks down, says, "Long live the king," and shoves them right off.
Yeah, I believe not getting loser semis, MisterDingle was able to find their way through the loser's side of the bracket, so it's still be going straight to losers finals. MisterDingle on the Katalina likely, Candice Catnipp, who we just saw.
Once again on the Grimnir, presumably. I can't make these definitive statements before we actually get into the game.
Assume so, you know.
We assume so.
They stuck to it before, likely to stick to it again. They just go for... Okay. They just go to Nier for button checks every time?
I guess.
What's going on here? Why is Nier the button check character?
Look, this is their labbing time. They go into button check and they use that to make sure that they understand what Nier does. You have to be prepared for this character.
Making sure all the specials in the specials work. Oh, I'm hold up. I gotta check my buttons. Gotta make sure that my setups are clean. Okay, time to put this character away again. Got the real stuff.
Yeah, one day the labbing will be finished and the Nier will come out for real.
That day should be very terrifying for the controller here. Nier is infamous at this point, I should say, in the community. No top 8 is complete without at least 2.
Yeah, Nier is one of those characters that sort of breaks the fundamental rules of this game. And there are several characters that do that, and I would honestly say that Nier is one of the most honest rule-breaking characters, as funny as that sounds. Like, yeah, she can combo you mid-screen, but she just does, like, a typical corner-style combo, you know?
Yeah, she avoids the general style of the game where, if you use an EX move, you lose a cooldown, you can't believe in victory. You have to you work with the other team. Nier kind of avoids that by instead of having cooldowns, you have a card system. Most rounds.
But we're getting back into the game, and we're seeing just a straight-up fireball war between these two characters.
Something that Katalina kind of enforces, that she, before you can make your way all the way on her, you have to get past these gargantuan normals and her fireball game that can make neutral a bit difficult to navigate against it.
Yeah, Fireball, Enchanted Lands, even just her regular buttons, all of these are so difficult to deal with. But once you're in, she doesn't have the strongest uppercut.
And if in as we speak, they find the shimmy, they find the full confirm into the SBA. All this damage, you got shimmied once, just take the throw.
Yeah, welcome to Granblue. That's how it goes here. MisterDingle still doing pretty good himself. The life is still about even. Still holding on to about 75% meter. Has a decent amount to work with.
Some earlier on the ultimate fireball, you have to spend it or lose it at this point. As the health is getting very low, MisterDingle almost in chip range, but just busting out with UDP as I was saying it. Alright, I got it. I'll spend it.
What, like I said, if it's high risk, high reward, but the risk is the same as everything else, you might as well.
Yeah, bust on out. At that point, you're so close to chip, you have to do something. MisterDingle picking the right option.
Alright, gets a punish on the sweep. Lands a 5 here, too. Ouchies.
Confirm off the punish reversal into the setup. Not getting the fuzzy, but getting the throw bait is Candice Catnipp. As SBA locked and loaded.
Yeah, opted to save it last combo, decides they want to use it as a finisher, and finish it well.
I love that you can hold a button to make sure that Grimnir messes up his line when he's trying to act all cool in that SBA. You see the little pop-up, he's like, ah! I flubbed my delivery, no!
Features like that are always welcome.
The most important tech in this game. If you're a Grimnir player.
Of
Make
course.
sure you mess up the line.
We're back to this neutral game. MisterDingle walling out Candice pretty well, as per usual. That's Catalina's whole thing. You'd hope she would do it.
Candice Catnipp doing such a good job of just walking MisterDingle to the corner. They're so willing to give up space and not contest. They put themselves back, and now they're getting that throw baited again. We've seen this episode before. This is a rerun. We know how it ends.
Yeah, that Oki setup was a little wacky. Candice trying to go for a bait and eventually getting a Raging Strike blocked, but immediately after Candice goes for the bait again, it works out. And here we are.
A repeat of the way the first round that Candice won ended. Same sequence. Go into the corner, set up the seals, throw bait with the air dash down, just a crisp kill.
Lands below. Gonna get DP. MisterDingle not. Ooh, okay. Baiting out the Brave counter with the 5U.
Yeah, one of the strengths of that 5U from Katalina has that single hit of armor, able to absorb even a guard cancel. If you think your opponent's pretty guard cancel happy, just root into that early, enjoy your free pick.
Yep, there are a few natural ways of baiting out Brave counter in the game without really meaning to, and that's a pretty solid one.
Spiral arrow, no punish though. Candice Catnipp tanking their lucky stars they did.
Again, trying to bait something out, puts down the tornado, gets caught by the 2M.
Able to fight their way out of the corner. Candice Catnipp wants to keep them there. Go Brave counter to keep them in the corner. Settle the tornado.
And one more throw bait will do it straight into the SSBA. Candice, one more round on the board.
MisterDingle just been so throw tech happy, and we've seen Candice Catnipp every time taking full advantage of it. Oh, you think I'm gonna run up and throw you again? I could, but I haven't.
The things that you have to adjust to in this game, you can just tech by hitting a button. You don't have to go for the throw. You can just hit jab.
Yeah, delayed mash is a very, very strong tool in this game for that reason. If you think they're gonna throw, cool. You take a little bit of damage and you're minus on the throw tech, but it's fine. It's not a full throw. If they go for a delayed mash, you might just beat them out.
MisterDingle been playing that Katalina game pretty solidly this whole round. Just may not be aware that that is punishable. Ultimate skills are a bit funky like.
They are a bit funky. Some of them just have absolutely incredible properties. Candice Catnipp not needing to use one to start off this combo, but getting the fuzzy setup, messing up the timing ever so slightly. Unfortunate.
Yeah, MisterDingle starting to learn the lesson, not really falling for these baits anymore.
Candice Catnipp off though, and Candice immediately guard cancel back into the install. Gets guard crushed for their troubles.
I think Candice was just out of diamonds, not much to do there.
At that point, it's a do or die, spot dodge or hold it. Finding such an opportune time for the guard crush.
Alright, he gets out with the slide. That's a funky hitbox.
Yeah, that far H from Grimnir is such an interesting move. The first hit comes out at about 8, second hit comes out very late after that. It's such a good option for Candice. It's quite disjointed. That first hit will often hit out and extend the hurt box and allow you to combo into the rest of it.
And speaking of combos, Candice just going for one more combo, one more setup, one more super. Game 2 is in the bag.
In the bag for sure. Candice Catnipp is certainly in their bag. Just locked in.
Yeah, MisterDingle's been doing a great job in neutral, but as soon as they're on defense, Candice has been running them over.
Yeah. We've seen some adaptations though. MisterDingle hasn't been quite as eager to bite on the throw baits in that last game. Making the adaptations there, making Candice Catnipp work a little bit harder.
Alright, lands 2 ultimate fireballs, why not?
Hey, you got another spectre. Why not? You get partial refund on block, so
Yeah, and meter comes back so fast in this game, you might as well just use it.
Meter game in this game is so high. I assume to encourage use of things like ultimate skills. Oh, you spent it? That's not that big a deal.
Yeah, and at the end of Vanilla, when they added those extra 50-meter ways to use meter, it was rough out there because you'd rarely get more than 150 meter around. So yeah, they had.
You get a whole lot more.
Yeah, they didn't want to have the vanilla problem where you had to choose between using your super and using your ultra. And it makes the game so much more dynamic.
Yeah, every character has so many more options available at a time, and MisterDingle choosing the reversal. Unfortunately for them, that was the wrong option in that scenario. Blocked out by Candice Catnipp and sealing out that round in a fashion that we are so familiar with. MisterDingle going back, checking on Wake Up. Not the option.
Candice, with that round, putting himself on the verge of a complete sweep in losers finals. MisterDingle's been putting up a fight this whole time, but still hasn't managed to take the game.
Quite hard fought, but as soon as MisterDingle gets low HP and in that corner, they've been a bit shaky on things.
And honestly, part of that is just Grimnir's offense is so overwhelming. What do you even do against that half the time?
Once he's set up, this man is this little wind boy is so threatening. Once he has you in the corner, oh, he puts down a tornado in front of you. He's got a seal above you. You're like, help! I'm surrounded on all sides.
Alright, one more throw bait. Yeah, Candice has been delaying their throw baits now to make MisterDingle think they are going to go for a throw. And it's been working out.
That extra layer. Once they pass layer 1, okay, time to bring out layer 2, layer 3.
Alright, MisterDingle once again landing a couple of stray hits.
Back to the corner. The spiral arrow connects, and that'll be it. One final Hail Mary from Candice Catnipp pays off.
Yeah, I think MisterDingle thought they could get the ultimate fireball out in time, but it didn't work out. Candice Catnipp gonna take that interaction and run all the way to the bank.
all the way to grand finals where they'd be going for the run back with Primitive, the Siegfried, who took them down in a fairly convincing fashion in winners finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said in that set, Siegfried's offense is smothering, but as we just saw in the previous set, so is Grimnir. It sometimes it really just can come down to who gets the knockdown first.
It's a knockdown first, and how are the players feeling with their defensive options on the day?
Damn, you
They
want to talk about
feel
that anti-air on the far heavy? Those kind of hitbox interactions are what I live for.
I love a little bit of jank. A little bit of
Mm-hmm.
jank in my fighting game. Every time you see one of those interactions, you're like, what? Hello?
Mm-hmm. We get Safari to confirm by Candice once again, pressing on Wake Up, gonna get us back to the sigils.
Oh no.
Blocks out the super.
Gets a full punish into the corner. This could be enough. I think they have one more diamond to cash out with. Not even gonna need.
Yep, just spending the ultimate sigils to make sure that if it doesn't kill, they have a setup. Didn't even need it.
On Candice, Catnipp finding that first round. Primitive, though, is eager to start their offensive in the second one.
Yep. All right, we got the spot dodge on the Raging Strike again.
Nothing really to show for it, though. They got a far light, and that was about it. I still have not managed to get out of this corner that Primitive is keeping them in.
Yeah. Once again, Siegfried just smothering Candice. Gets the punish on the fireball with the super. Primitive, as we saw in the previous set, is on point with those. Sometimes a little too on point.
Yeah, it's very, very willing to just pull the trigger at any time. This time they caught the fireball. Candice Catnip's health bar is going down rapidly.
I mean, we were just talking about the meter gain in this game. If you have that meter, you may as well spend it.
Yep. Candice almost on the brink of chip out. They have 100 meter, though they can make something happen. The spiral arrow DP'd out by Primitive. The reactions are there.
Mm-hmm. The reactions were always there, but this time they're reacting with the correct move.
Yeah.
Possibly because they didn't have a super.
In previous times, we saw that super 2 ships passing in the night in exchange of meter. This time, Primitive said, all right, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fix it up. I'll tighten up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Primitive getting a huge corner combo, gonna set up into the unblockable, and yep, there we go. Reversal will beat it.
That time spent it, but Candice Catnip spending that 50 meter.
Is that a cross up?
I think it might have, yeah.
It just looked like Grimnir teleported about 6 inches to the left as soon as he got hit.
Yeah, and interesting swap from Candice Catnip. Not just the button check character. The Nier is finally coming out.
Yeah, Grimnir has not been working out. Might as well just pick a top tier.
Oh boy, I'm interested to see what the Nier has in store.
Yeah, this time, one of the things that was causing Grimnir so much trouble is that immaculate space control, the huge space control that Siegfried enforces. And Nier's got some of the same stuff going on with how she can just send out death to attack you from 3/4 screen and then get a combo off of it.
Oh my goodness, Primitive just DPing on that H misfortune from Nier, not willing to hold it, and Candice Catnip having to hold this unblockable. You died.
Yeah, had the meter to super, potentially ultimate DP, but was not ready to respond like. And ouch, runs straight into the sword. That not advised.
I'm just thinking about that unblockable setup. If you get hit by that 2-1-4, you just feel like you got clocked over the head. It just takes a massive chunk up front. It is insane.
Yeah, part of me wishes that Siegfried was the one in the baseball bat and not Percival.
Siegfried is the radish, right?
Yeah, Siegfried has the radish. He's also got
radish.
I don't know what the plant is actually called, but as a kid I always called it cattails. He's got one of those. I love the alternate weapons in this game.
Yeah, Siegfried as well had the he's got like the big old like block, the big old
Mhm.
just stone. Like what? Just pulls up with a big old rock and smacks
Mhm.
you with it. All right, that's cool.
All right. Waits on the guard cancel until it's guaranteed. That is something you have to be careful about with Nier's Oki pressure.
Yeah, sometimes she can set it up to where guard cancels will just whiff,
Mhm.
or they can be a bit ambiguous on when you need to guard cancel. Primitive, not hesitating in the slightest, immediate
Mhm.
wake up SBA.
Yeah, Candice tried to throw them, so it worked out. And one more throw into stance. Guard cancels out, and Nier's another one of those characters that is so scary when you're in chip range.
Yeah, she has so many ways to chip you out. She can call that 2-on-4, just send death going across the screen. She can, if she gets you to block it, go into the punches easy.
Mhm.
So difficult to deal with.
All right, now Primitive is in the corner, manages to press their way out.
Cross up.
Ooh. The hit could have been huge, but Primitive was not ready to convert. Probably going to see, okay, opts not to go into the super.
Candice Catnipp contesting the guard cancel. Primitive, oh my goodness. We saw
Yeah,
that
here,
sequence before, and this time it's not working out so good.
yeah, Candice had a super on deck, doesn't even need it. The Nier is going to take a game.
All right. Working out so far, but you still got quite a hill to climb as Primitive just needs to win one game. Candice Catnip needs to win another 5 to take the set.
Mm-hmm. And, ooh, command grab falls just short. Candice able to get a full punish off of that.
Into the setup, M punches, cross up, connect. No combo afterwards, though.
Mm-hmm.
Primitive now, couple BP short, but having Candice Catnip in the corner.
Yep. Reversal hits, gonna get a full conversion off of that into super. Wait,
God.
that killed?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Primitive ran out of diamonds on the super. Okay.
Ran out of BP. Candice Catnip having 3 cards left as well means that super was so buffed.
Mm-hmm. All right, Death just kind of runs off to do her own thing. That special call didn't even reach Primitive.
That's just kind of hanging out, doing some shopping, doing some sightseeing over the other side of the stage. Don't bother them.
Hold on, I'm sorry. You needed me? I'll be there in a minute.
Sorry, Nier. Traffic's bad.
Yeah, it is one of the things that you have to be aware of when you're learning to play a puppet character. You can't mismanage your puppet.
Hmm. If you
Right?
do, you can end up in dire situations like that. Candice Catnip
Mm-hmm.
not having the puppet when they
Ooh.
needed it, but finding the challenge when they do. Primitive, though, again, so willing to pull the trigger on these reversals, and it's
Mm-hmm.
netted them a tournament point.
Yeah, you cannot be afraid to DP. All right, gets a throw. Tries for another throw, but no dice. Candace able to get a conversion off of it.
Into the setup. Immediate guard cancel out. I agree. Delete death for a little bit. Make it so Nier has no options. We're going back into it. Immediate reversal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, does just barely have enough diamonds, but now we're both out.
Oh, yeah, we are both
Thrown to the
hurting.
corner.
Look at that throw damage. Anything will do it.
Oh,
The
Candace tried to
SSVA
parry super.
throwaway.
And 2 ultimate projectiles will do it. Primitive closing out the set, shutting down the Nier. Walking away as Grand Champion.
Things get so volatile when you take all the BP away from both players. Any interaction can just blow the game wide open. That's what we saw from Primitive there. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, taking the set 3-1, taking home the win.
Yeah, honestly, that's one thing that I'm very glad is in Nier's kit is the Pace Super. She has so many strong tools, and that's a very strong tool in its own way, but sometimes, a lot of the times, it works out the way you see it there, if you try to go for a throw, then the Nier is out of their super, they're eating a throw, and you're back in your great position.
All right, thank you both so much for stepping up to the plate and putting on some wonderful commentary on this event. I'm sure the players will much appreciate it, and I hope all the viewers appreciate it as well. Thank you, everyone who tuned in, whether it be this evening or later on my YouTube. And thank you both, Pineapples and Rylan, for doing your part.
Appreciate you
Happy to
having
be
me on.
here.
Okay, tomorrow at 7 p.m., as I said earlier, I will be reviewing the pools matches for Street Fighter Cross Tekken from Frosty Faustings from a couple weeks ago, and I will have with me Tech Chase TV, the director of the ongoing Street Fighter Cross Tekken documentary. I'm not sure when part 2 is coming out, but it is in the works, and we have a lot of people putting their thoughts on that game and its history, and there may be a new chapter unfolding for that game in the near future, looking at all the Steam activity the last month or so. But patience is a virtue, and we'll keep on waiting and we'll keep on hosting. So tomorrow, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, I will have all that new Cross Tekken stuff ready for you. But in the interim, it's time to close out our evening. Thank you again, Pineapples and Ryland. I am Psycho Blue, conductor of the Hype Train, Mr. Hype Gems, hashtag Crosswires, and I will see each and every one of you next time, whenever and wherever that may be.